Hey there, Grumpy Old Fart here. I'm trying a new type of a video that I'm trying out. Hopefully, people like them. Historic military blunders, and I'm trying to do a little bit of history here. Okay, and for those of you who do wargaming, this is an excellent study in how not to conduct warfare. Every commander can make mistakes. Expected. But when you make these classic, oh my God, ridiculous blunders, yeah, that's on them. I'm just saying. I'm talking about the Battle of Hattin, Hattin, in 1187. One of the key military points in any type of warfare is to fight the enemy on your terms. You use your strengths against his weaknesses. Anytime you attack his strong points with your disadvantages, you are asking for trouble. In 1187, the Crusader King Guy of Jerusalem did not heed this advice. A little bit of context. The Muslim forces under Saladin had laid siege, to the town of Tiberias on the western shores of the Sea of Galilee. King Guy was about 20 miles away at Sephoria with a large army, about 20,000 infantry, and over 1,200 cavalry. So he had a good force. He had a sizable force. That would make any military commander, take notice. Guy wanted to engage Saladin before he could strike Jerusalem. You got the Sea of Galilee here. This is the west. This is the east over here. You got the Sea of Galilee. Tiberias is right here on the coast, and Sephoria is over this direction. Jerusalem is down south, so he wanted to hit Saladin before he could march south, because he didn't know if he could get his forces between Saladin and Jerusalem, so he wanted to hit Tiberias while Saladin was there. One of Guy's senior leaders, Raymond III of Tripoli, argued against attacking Saladin's forces at Tiberias because Muslim forces were at their best on open ground. He advised Guy to stay at Sephoria and fight a defensive action, which makes sense. I mean, there's merit to both of them. But seeing as the Muslims were so good on open ground and armored infantry is not, a defensive battle, 20,000 guys could defend Sephoria quite easily, quite well. So I understand Raymond's idea, but I also understand Guy, because he wants to keep Jerusalem. That's the objective of the Crusades. So, and then I guess technically there was no guarantee that Saladin would attack Sephoria. He could have bypassed it. At any rate, he advised Guy to stay at Sephoria and fight a defensive action. Guy overruled him and set off for Tiberias on July 3rd, 1187. That date is important. July 3rd. Keep that in mind. The Muslims excelled at open ground combat because they had the mounted archers. These mounted archers began harrying attacks on the Crusaders, hit and run kind of attacks, harassing them, causing them to stop continuously all day long. These attacks caused many casualties and forced the Crusaders to use their water much more quickly. July in the Middle East is hotter than the fires of damnation. The Crusaders wore armor of various types. In the heat of July, with no water, imagine. Yeah. The situation was made worse when the Crusader army had to make night camp on an arid plain near Mascana. The next morning, the Crusaders found themselves encircled by massed infantry and cavalry of Saladin's Muslims. Saladin was a military mastermind. He was really good. The man could fight. He was good. On a battlefield, he was nothing to be taken lightly. Desperate for water and plagued with many infantry desertions, Guy's cavalry made 3 bloody and fruitless charges trying to break the Muslim lines and reach the Horns of Hattin, Hattin, the Horns of Hattin, which is an extinct volcano offering the prospect of spring water. The Crusader army finally collapsed due to lack of water and appalling casualties. Only about 3,000 of those Crusaders made it to safety. This defeat and others like it eventually led to the fall of Jerusalem on October 2nd of that year. Here's the thing. Had Guy listened to Raymond, his army might have survived. He'd had a better chance to survive with that defensive action. If he really was worried about Jerusalem, he could have moved his army south and mounted a defense there. Instead, Guy let himself be lured into an arid plain against an enemy that was bred for it. These guys knew what they were doing on open ground in the desert. It was literally their specialty. Guy played their game by their rules, and guess what? He lost. That's one of the classic military blunders, and I can't imagine a worse scenario for a commander than watching your men waste away like that from lack of water, knowing you had an alternative. Just saying. All right, well, that's one. I'm going to do another one here shortly. Hope you guys have a nice day. God bless one and all.